What's up, guys? Fitz from Lone Wolf Paintball here, and we're talking about your Field 1 Force maintenance. It's pretty simple. It's real easy. That's why I'm here. You can see I'm not piezo. I do use different types of words like bits and bobs and stems and things. It's probably not the right terms and everything like that, but you'll get the general gist of it. I've got mine here, and I've got a V2. So I know there's V2 parts, and everybody's like, oh, why didn't you talk about the V2 parts? Really what changes is like the volume, material of the part, stuff like that. All the O-rings and everything are exactly the same. And where you lube it is pretty much exactly the same. I do have this one here. It's beautiful Field 1 Force. Anodized by Arc Anodizing. So we have this one. This one is obviously a V2, which means it has all the V2 parts in it. So we've got that one there. I did take mine basically apart just to make it easier. We don't have to sit here and do all these screws and all that stuff. But we'll talk about a couple different things. Just looking at these bolts here, you can see they're basically exactly the same. Just a couple different things. Obviously the V2 part back here, that's anodized aluminum now, not brass. Your pillow tip bolts, the screw is different. This one's like stainless steel. This one is brass, I believe. And I believe that's pretty much it on this, on the bolt and everything, right? So we're just gonna deal with mine. There's a stigma that I don't take care of my stuff, but we're just gonna take a look at it, and that way I actually get to clean it, right? So we're gonna take a look at this. Really all about, doing the maintenance on this is super simple. There's only like 3 places you really need to lube on it. Those U-cup, U-O-rings, whatever they call them, do a lot of the work, and they're rated for a lot of shots. I believe in their video they were saying like you only really want to do maintenance 20,000 shots. That's a lot. That's 10 cases, right? So yeah, that's a good amount of paint. Let's take a look. We got this apart now. Where we want to lube. The bumper goes forward. So where we want to lube, generally you want to hit this part up here, and then on this back part right here, that's going to hit the 2 U-cup or U-O rings on the inside, and you just go like this. They send you with a ton of grease. Like this is like literally like a lifetime supply for me, right? I use this, been playing as long as I have. You kind of just make up your own stuff and see what works for each one. So what we'll do is we'll lube it up a little bit. We'll just hit very little. It does not need a lot. It's not like your other ones, like even like this is enough for both the front and back. I'm just gonna coat that and then coat the front here, or the back here. And then what we're gonna do is that's it. If you feel like it didn't go all the way through and you really just wanna give it a little bit more, like I said, don't do a whole lot. You can take like a Q-tip. Q-tips always work, they work great. Just hit it here, and then what you're gonna do is hit this inside of the cage here, and then right in front of the brass piece or your aluminum piece, you're gonna hit the front on either side, right here in the cage, okay? And then you're just gonna go back and forth just like that. You can hit these O-rings a little bit if you want. I usually, usually on any marker, I'm sitting here doing one that's not a static O-ring, stuff like that. But generally they say you don't really need to do it. It just kind of works. So we got that, got this, put this back together, okay? If you do have to take it apart, there's a hex key on the back here. You're gonna take one of those big chonkers, okay? There's one of my big words. Big chonkers, they go right in there. And then on the new bolt, that is one thing that they did change, is you do have flats generally back here that you can put a wrench on. If you have, let's say, a little bit of blue Loctite, something like that, you can break it loose a little bit easier that way. If you have one of the Gen 1 bolts or the version 1 bolts, you have to get some pliers without teeth on it, some flat pliers, no teeth. You will mess it up. Don't use that. If you have a little blue Loctite or anything like that, they do say just like a lighter, like one of those normal like little Bic lighters. We all got them, right? Real quick, 5 seconds, breaks it loose. You should be able to get it off. I'm not gonna take mine apart because I will mess it up. So that is basically there as far as the bolt goes. Oh no, these back O-rings here, not necessarily the back ones. I do lube those because it's easier to take it out of the gun at that point, right? But these ones back here, I believe these are 21s. The front one is a 20. Could be wrong on that. Could be backwards. Either way. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hit those. And they do say that if you do have some kind of issue or something like that, generally it could be these 3 O-rings in the back. Okay, so you just want to change those out, lube them up, get them back in the marker. Should be good to go. They do go over on the Field 1 page about changing like these U-cup O-rings on the inside here. There's, I believe, 2 of them. There's also, I believe, a seal on the inside of the brass of the aluminum one as well. But I've been shooting this thing since it came out. I really do enjoy it, and I really have never cleaned the dang thing. So yeah, I really have never had an issue. So usually don't have to clean it unless I have an issue. That's so much for the bolt there. I have cleaned this reg before, and this is kind of a lot. Okay, there's a lot going on in here. This is not even really the reg. This is just a piece in here. This is your, seat, everything like that. I don't mess with this. I'll clean it off and do the O-rings on the bottom here. If it's anything different like that, I'll take it for service. I don't really, if you don't really know what you're doing, make sure you get somebody who does know what they're doing, right? That's the most important thing. The one thing I will warn you guys about is leave that screw alone. That is for your cam on-off, right? That's for this. That's to keep it tight. Also, inside, there's a very, very tiny little hole right here. There is a tiny ball in there. Do not lose that ball. That ball is very important. Just don't lose it, okay? Also, it's so tiny that you may lose it and not know it. So make sure it's in there. Just be very careful when you do take this off. It's 2 screws on the bottom of your grip, and it's gonna just pull away. As far as everything else goes in here, you're gonna have that little stem right there. Don't break that off. And then you have here, this also has different parts in it with the V2. This, you're just gonna clean this off. I've got a lot of oil on this, it looks like, right? And then I just put it right back in, okay? Any kind of dirt, anything like that can cause a leak. I really don't mess with it too much. And honestly, I'm not even gonna relube that. It's just, there's a ton of stuff in there, okay? I'm gonna stick it back on there, putting this back on, making sure you have the little ball in there. I think I pressed mine in pretty deep. Yeah, that's looking kind of dry. If something looks dry, hit it with a little lube. What's gonna hurt? I do know that if you put like a ton in here, it doesn't, mine necessarily doesn't like it. So don't necessarily put a whole bunch in here. Other than that, I just pop this sucker back in, spin her, and make sure she's kind of in there, right? She's in there. And then that is just gonna pop right back on here, right? And then you're gonna bolt it back up and it's good to go. Obviously, make sure you're changing those O-rings. Batteries, okay? That's always a good place to start. I do hit these back O-rings on the back of this bolt, right? Just to make it easier to take in and out of the marker. It's not necessarily needed, but just make sure you keep everything kind of lubed up and good to go. Other than that, guys, that's really the Field 1 Force maintenance. Keep your stuff clean. Don't treat it like I treat my stuff, and make sure you guys shop lonewolfpaintball.com.